Namaste. Welcome to the beginning of another live Sangha. I'm grateful to be here, and I trust you are feeling as well as you can be, given whatever circumstances might be prevailing in your life at this time. If there are any difficulties, remember that this too shall pass, and whatever you are feeling, it is always a valid expression of what you are experiencing both inside and out. I hope to be your humble host, and if I'm not, you can hold me accountable to that. May you find peace and relaxation here, and allow me to welcome our first guests as they arrive today. Welcome, dear Snow White, and hello, dear Tessa. Hello, Jacoby, and dear Harskam Jaribo. Hello, dear Twubble, Xime. Hello. Allow me to begin by setting the intention for the space as being a welcoming environment, open to everyone, regardless of background, identity, orientation, belief system, ethnicity, etc. May we come together as fellow students of life to uplift each other, relate in one another's experience, and share positive sentiments. Hello, dear Dancing Aurora Borealis. Hello, dear Sarah. Mango, 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 mango. Dear Samra. Namaste, dear Marcy. Oh, I'm wondering how you're all doing at this moment. If you wish to share, you're always welcome to keep that to yourself, of course, but please know it helps me know what kind of space to hold for you in this live stream. Allow me to also begin with an invocation of a Shanti mantra, a peace prayer taken from the Taittiriya and Katha Upanishad, which goes like this in the ancient language of Sanskrit. Am Sahana Vavatu Sahana Bhunaktu Saha Viryam Karva Vahai Tejasvinavadhi Tamastu Ma Vidvisha Vahai. Om Shanti Shanti Shanti. That means something like, may the divine protect us both together. May the divine nourish us both together. May our studies be vigorous and effective. May we work conjointly with great ease. And may we not mutually dispute or hate any. May there be peace in us. May there be peace in our environment. And may there be peace in the forces that act on us. Now, dearest Dancing Aurora Borealis, you share, would I please pray for your fur baby, as he has to be put down in 10 hours. Absolutely. I'm grateful that we got a chance to be here together in this moment before that takes place. What a heartbreaking moment. And that's okay. I truly do believe that animals know what they signed up for when it comes to being our pets. And they're happy to be with us for as long as is expected. And when their health is failing, and it would cause more harm than not to keep them alive, then it is a grace that you give them to allow them a more peaceful transition into their next life. I trust that it won't be a kind of betrayal. It won't be unexpected for them either. They know it was always meant to unfold this way. They have served you. You have served them for the tenure that was always meant to be. And they will go out of our life with love, just as they entered our life with love, physically. but spiritually speaking, the essence of them always remains with us. We pray not just for you and your family's peace, but for the swift and effortless transition from their body into the next. And that you may always have a form of connection with them, no matter what it looks like. Thank you as well, dear Giuliano, for the heart me that you had sent and the popular vote. Harihi Om Tat Sat. Thank you, dear Weasel, for the head mustache that you sent to. Aum Gang Ganapataye Namaha. Hello, dear Anne. Let me tell you a little bit more about this live stream that we'll have today, since we're just beginning. We'll dedicate the first little bit to learning something new together. That's called Shravana. We will listen through some ancient scripture, chanting some Sanskrit, learning about its translations and interpretations in the Radiant Sutras. This is a very poetic and modern interpretation of an ancient scripture known as the Vijnana-bhairava-tantra. It enumerates 112 gateways to the yoga of wonder and delight, as framed as a conversation between the divine masculine and feminine in mutual embrace. We'll continue from the 49th yukti. It'll be delectable, I'm sure, as always. Then after that, we'll have some manana, the portion dedicated to really going deep into our engagement with each other, asking questions and inquiring together. And then we'll end tonight, since it's the precipice of the new moon, with a mantra meditation dedicated to an aspect of Shiva known as Kali, the dark mother of time. I think that'll be very nice as well. What do you think about that? If any of that interests you, you're welcome to stick around. Otherwise, I wish you a wonderful rest of your day. You can come and go from these live streams as often or frequent as you want. Summer Rain, you ask, what do I think of the extraterrestrial? I think we have to become them in more than one way. We already are them. Have I watched Interstellar? Ask Gert, your boy. You know, I have never watched the full movie as of yet. I think I have watched the beginning, and of course I understand the plot, but I should watch the full movie. What about you? Hello, dear Dawn. Thank you for the follow, Marie. Thank you for sharing the live, Marcy. Wayne wants me to say something sweet. Honey. Pretty sweet, isn't it? Welcome, dear Olski. You're right on time. Of course, you're very welcome, dear Dancing Aurora Borealis. Hello, Yammer Hunt. Hello, dear Dominic. I'm doing well. Thank you for asking, Illuminate. Welcome, dear Matthew. You are my favorite guru. Have I watched Oppenheimer? It's also a movie that I should watch that I haven't. Thank you for stopping by, dear Jacoby. I'm glad you liked the last video that I made today. It's on the intersection between yoga and celibacy, an area called Brahmacharya. It's full of misconceptions that I try to rectify, coming from both modern and ancient perspectives. So you're welcome to check that out. I hope I did a good job. You can let me know if there's any corrections I can make on that. Radhe, Radhe, dear faithful being. We are only 10 minutes into the live so far. Dawn, you share an Interstellar. They travel through a wormhole and have the quote-unquote first handshake with higher dimensional beings. I love that. Very metaphorical. Dominic shares that you're not okay mentally at this moment. That's okay. Our mind often fluctuates in its states, and it can be quite alarming when we go from highs to lows like what you're experiencing. Remember to lean on the support of any friends and family. The quickest way to slow your nervous system down is to just be present with yourself now, whatever form that takes. I'm here for you. I'm happy to explore areas of mental health and our relationship with our mind with you. I did say the word rectify a moment ago, Matthew. It's a very satisfying sounding word, don't you think? Rectify. Yeah, I can tell you more about Brahmacharya. You spelt it very close. Brahmacarya in the IAST, the International Alphabet of Sanskrit Transliteration. In more Romanized letters, you would add an H in front of the C, just so you know it's a ch, it's a palatal plosive. Brahmacharya is often misunderstood to mean absolute celibacy. But truly, it's one of the yamas. It's one of the foundational principles for everyone to practice. And if everyone practiced it, well, society would fall because there'd be no next generation. For everyone to practice Brahmacharya, what it really means is something more simple. That we have a healthy relationship to our sexuality. And repression and suppression, as any psychologist will tell you, is not healthy. It's much better to explore things with moderation than to completely restrict yourself or completely indulge in something. And that's basically what is discussed in my 8.5-minute video on Brahmacharya that I made today, and the system of philosophy that it comes from. Thank you, Illuminate, for the heart me that you sent. Om Krilin Kalikaya Namaha. And dear Hogasen, if I can pronounce your name in a preferred way, let me know. Thank you for your rose. Om Shri Mahalakshmiyai Namaha. Dear Dominic, you share that you're in a dark place, still grieving for your mother. That's allowed. Grief requires no timeline. Thank you for sharing that. You have so much love for your mother, as many of us do, because the mother is our first relationship in life. It's a relationship that begins even before we enter the world, when we're still enveloped in the womb. I have no idea how I am going to grieve the passing of my mother. I'm sure that I'll be in a dark place too for a while. In the meanwhile, at the very least, I can empathize with your love for your mother, just as I have so much love for my mother. And I would hope that that connection is so deep and so strong that it transcends a physical connection. You don't have to be physically in the presence of your mother to still feel her energetically. And I think a huge part of grief is not about coming to the conclusion that you'll be okay without her. It's about clearing out your misconceptions about what that relationship really was, and coming to a higher understanding that she is still with you and will always be with you. Her heart beats through yours. It's good to see me back regardless of your spelling, shares Faithful Being. Yeah. I'm not a stickler for spelling, but if you do want to have a easier time looking up these terms on the internet, I'm happy to correct them. Om Namo Narayana Hari Om, shares Narayana's little leelas. I love that. Narayana, Narayana. Get a great memory, dear Faithful Being. Feel free to check that video out, dear old scheme. Dawn, you share, there's so much about the universe and existence you'd love to talk to me about, but you fear that you can't. Oh, well, we've got a few hours in this live stream. We can explore them. I know the TikTok comment section can be a little limiting at times, but with patience, we can do so. Thank you, Johnny Doe, for the rose that you sent. Brahmacharya Bhairavaya Namo Namah. Dear Megan, thank you for your flowers and a heart me. Shri Ganeshaya Namah. I look different. When's my birthday? Asked Faithful Being. Well, I'm not sure if when my birthday is affects how fast I age. Even if my birthday was yesterday, I don't think I would age a whole year just in one day. But my birthday is in the 1st of October. And I feel like my appearance is always changing, depending on the lighting. I look many different ways, all at once, or at different times. You'll have me know that your listening ears are on, shares dear Marcy. No Sangha snack today, just awareness. Wow, I'm the same way. For Shivaratri, I'll be fasting. Wow. A liquid's only fast. I do still have some tea prepared here. Apparently I'm the world's greatest dad today. I do take care of 59 different tulasi plants as my babies. So true, dear Chelsea. Grief is not linear, very up and down, and doesn't get better with time necessarily. Just know they wouldn't want you to be sad. Well said. Faithful Being, you think that the darkness is a necessary and respectful feeling that shows up with deep love for one another. I so feel that. Our relationships carve out a space to hold for one another. And in absence of that form that was carved out, we just feel that space. And space without something to illuminate it, like the presence of our friends and family, is dark. But something else will fill that space. Without any time restraint on when that happens and how that happens. A natural continuation. Thank you, Illuminate. How often am I doing my lives? Asked her Anne. Well, ideally almost every day. However, I've been super busy as I have my partner here in person. Not in this room at this moment, but I've flown her out here to experience what Vancouver Island is like, and also for her healing from where she comes from. And as you can understand, I've been spending a lot of time and energy just exploring the island with her, getting her settled in, and enjoying our physical presence together. But that's not to say it will be as inconsistent as it has been in the future. She's here till the end of the month, and after that, I will be a little bit more free in being able to. spend time doing these live streams every day. We're all on a healing journey, dear Tara Star. Namaste, dear Miyananda. Oski, you feel that the Oppenheimer movie touches on the undercurrent of existence in a clever way. Well, I'll have to check it out. Yeah, Oppenheimer was a spiritual person. Faithful being, you had asked, what do yogis think about time and how they measure it? Do they think it's real? That is an excellent question. Time is deified by yogis in a being in the masculine known as Kala and in the feminine known as Kali. And it's absolutely real from a certain perspective, but not absolutely real from another higher perspective. Higher not in terms of authoritative, but in terms of being able to see things from a vantage point that includes more aspects in wholeness. It's like temperature. How we measure it is relatively arbitrary. Units like Celsius, degrees, even Kelvin are human inventions. But what it attempts to measure is a very real phenomenon. The kinetic energy of molecules and atoms. Yet, when we zoom out, it's only a local experience. It's an average of many. So too, time is relative, and depending on where you are situated in the universe, you experience the passage in different ways, sometimes not even in the same linear progression. This is what Einstein's theory of relativity tells us. Space and time are interrelated. You can't have one without the other. Time is an extension of space, so if you believe in space, you must also believe in time, and vice versa. If you don't believe in time, since space is an extension of it, then you mustn't believe in space either. The correct Sanskrit word for the phenomenon of time is mithya, meaning transient, meaning temporary. There's something more, which is satya, which is eternal, which is truly real beyond all doubt, and that's just this moment. And in this moment, you will find the accumulation of all history, as well as the seed for all future mystery. So all that we consider as taking place through time is part of this moment. And this moment is definitely very real. Don't you think? Thank you, dear Calypso, for the heart me that you sent. Kamalir Mahakalikaya Namah. Dear Greg, you're wondering about any wisdom about the third eye. Think about the phrase having a sixth sense. It's very similar in terms of its symbolism. We generally say we have 5 senses, which isn't totally true because we have more than 5 senses. We have 5 jnanendriyas, which are the 5 organs, indriyas of perception, of knowledge, jnana. That includes sight, sound, taste, smell, and touch. When someone seems to pick up on something beyond the 5 senses, you might use the term sixth sense to describe them. This person has a sixth sense. What is the sixth sense? Well, whatever it is that's giving them this intuitive perception beyond what they can see, beyond what they can hear, taste, smell, or feel. It's in the very same way that we use the term third eye, because we have 2 eyes. But what if you are able to see something beyond your 2 eyes? You might say that person's seeing with a third eye. That's the symbolism there. And what is there to see beyond the these two eyes and their vision. We have a material world which is capable of being seen with our material eyes. But there is a spiritual world capable of being seen with our spiritual eye. And that doesn't have to be mystical. It can actually be extremely straightforward. For example, many of us in the West are familiar with religions like Christianity. And any Christian will tell you that they see God in a being known as Jesus Christ. Jesus Christ was like you and I. He was able to walk this earth. But he lived in such an exemplary way that whatever the source of this universe is, he embodied it for the Christians. So it's not through their material eyes that the Christians view Jesus as a man. It's through their third, spiritual eye that they view Jesus as God. And that can happen not just with religious figures, but in plants, in trees, in mountains, in valleys, in rivers, in the sun, in the moon, even between you and I. If we are capable of perceiving in each other how we embody at least a part of the source which this universe as a whole arises from, then we're not merely seeing with our two material eyes. We are not just looking at each other as flesh, as bodies, as chemicals, as atoms. We are looking at each other as living representatives of the divine, and that's seeing with your third eye. It doesn't have to affect what you actually see. Nothing new happens in your physical field of view. The world doesn't change its form, but you change the way that you look at it. That's the power of perception. Thank you, dear Jan, for your heart me and for your popular vote. Durgaya Namah. Hello, dear Apostolos. Thank you, dear faithful being. Dear Matthew, you ask, how long do I fast for? It's a personal choice. I can go as long or as short as I want. But generally for 24 hours of the night before the new moon. Also the night before the full moon. That's known as Chaturdashi. You can fast any night of the full moon. Any night of the lunar cycle. Because each part is dedicated to a different form of the divine. Many people fast on the 11th day, known as Ekadashi, because that day is associated with Vishnu, and Vishnu is a very popular form of the divine. However, someone like myself, who at this moment has a particular association with Shiva, given that Chaturdashi, the 14th day, is associated with them also, I choose to fast them. But you don't have to. It's just for fun, if you want to, if you feel called to it. Welcome, dear Draven. Much love, dear Alexander. You would love to invite me to Krishnamurti Center. Oh, that sounds wonderful. How do you contact me? You can contact me through my email, or my Instagram, or my WhatsApp, or my Telegram. These are all linked in the link tree in my bio at the top as social media icons. I think I've been using lunar night and lunar day interchangeably, just to let you know. They don't really refer to different things because for part of the cycle, namely the waning phase, the moon becomes more and more visible at night. And then, that's the waxing phase. During the waxing phase, it gets more and more visible at night. Because the brighter it is, the more opposed from the sun it is. The more opposed from the sun it is, the more we can only see it when we're facing away from the sun at night. Then, at the waning phase, when the moon is getting darker, it's because more and more of it is facing the sun relative to us. So it's closer to the sun. We can see it during the day. So you might interchange lunar days and lunar nights depending on if the sun and the moon are closer to each other or further than apart. Beautiful words, dear Dawn. Like a great pool of energy, we go to after death to continue our journey of creation. Dear faithful being, you share, you integrate everything together, and you see no separation of spiritual and physical because all is one. Well said. Marcy, you give an example of another sense beyond our Jnanendriyas, our 5 organs of perception. For example, proprioception is knowing where your body parts are without the assistance of the eyes. That's a good one. Close your eyes. Notice that you're still able to clap your hands, grab different body parts, even without looking. Dear Draven, you share that in deep meditation, before you gained much insight into the Eastern philosophy, Shiva came to you in meditation. That's auspicious. So now you wonder why I dedicate a sense to Shiva. The more I read and learn about Shiva, the more I am reminded of myself. As the saying goes, Chidananda Rupam Shivoham Shivoham. Thank you, dear Samra, for the let butterfly dances. Om Namah Shivaya. And dear Jill and Enkidu, thank you for your heart meme. Om Hrim Namah Shakti Shivaya. Why do I say auspicious? Well, it's a bit of a pun. Shiva is literally the auspicious one. As a word, it's an adjective meaning auspicious. Shiva is the auspicious one, and especially when forms of the divine come to you in astrally embodied states, such as meditation or dream, considered very auspicious. Welcome, dear Kimya. Now, let's continue reading, shall we? Through the Radiant Sutras. As I said, this is an ancient scripture being translated for a modern time. My attention shall return on the comment section after we're done reading through a few of the yuktis. We continue from the 49th yukti, one of the 112 gateways to the yoga of wonder and delight. I'll chant the 72nd verse overall now, as Bhairava, the divine masculine, is speaking to his Bhairavi, the divine feminine. Tam Jagdhipana Kritola Rasananda Vijrumbhanat Bhavayed Bharitavastham Mahanandastato Bhaved. In English, this might invoke the meaning: tasting dark chocolate, a ripe apricot, a luscious elixir. Savor the expanding joy in your body. Nature is offering herself to you. How astonishing to realize this world can taste so good. When sipping some ambrosia, raise your glass, close your eyes, toast the universe. The sun and moon and earth danced together to bring you this delight. Receive the nectar on your tongue as a kiss of the divine. As always, we'll pull out a word from the Sanskrit and use that as the seed for the meditation practice that this sutra invokes. The word of this verse is undeniably Rasa. R-A-S-A, Rasa. It means juice, the best or finest part of anything, the essence. It can mean liquor, elixir, potion, nectar. It can even mean various vital fluids. Taste, flavor, love, affection, desire, charm, pleasure, delight, the taste or character of a work. This is all invoked in the word rasa. Here the author gives the practice. I love the word rasa. What a range of succulent meanings. You can meditate with rasa, which means physical tastes and also the juiciness of life in general. Rasa is a state of cherishing life in which you are open to the outer world and its ever-changing play, and open to your inner world and the ever-changing play of your subjective responses. Rasa emerges anytime you are savoring your life experience, witnessing your own emotions as if you are watching a play or a movie. Juice yourself up. If you are practicing meditation, develop and cherish your appreciation for the great tastes in life. If you are attentive, a sip of pure water is delicious. You might find yourself craving sunlight, water, the air you find in a forest, the smell of garlic, the taste of apricots or ripe fruit, chocolate with sea salt, a sip of wine or high-quality juice. These desires may be telling you of an element you need for your health, your physical, emotional, or spiritual well-being. Yoga refines instincts. You need to listen to them. As your body awakens, so will desires. Explore them as appropriate for your situation. Meditators often practice on an empty stomach, before breakfast and dinner, when the body is getting ready to eat. Hunger arises, and you reject it. It rises again, and you dissolve it. Over time, this may result in your body becoming unenthusiastic about food and uninterested in digesting it. Your metabolism may slow down and your digestion gets weak. Many practitioners experience diminishing vitality and health as a result. But if you cherish desires and let your body eagerly look forward to eating, you will tend to have a much better digestion and better instincts about what to eat and how much. Seek out the most yummy smells and tastes available to you. Relish them. In meditation, when desire for a taste or smell arises, welcome it and meditate on it. Whenever you are eating or drinking something delicious, give an extra minute to savoring. That extra 60 seconds can be quietly life-changing. That's the 49th yukti. Let's read a couple more, shall we? But first, let's take a moment to savor that one. Savor the rasa of that verse and its meaning. This is the 50th yukti and the 73rd verse overall in the Vijnana-bhairava-tantra. Aum Gitadi Vishaya Swada Samasaukyait Katatmanaha Yoginastan-mayatvena manorudhes tadatmata. This invokes the meaning of all around you, in every moment, the world is offering a feast for your senses. Songs are playing, tasty food is on the table, fragrances are in the air, colors fill the eyes with light. You who long for union, attend this banquet with loving focus. The outer and inner worlds open to each other. Oneness of vision, oneness of heart, right here in the midst of it all. Mount that elation, ascend with it, become identical with the ecstatic essence embracing both worlds. The word of the verse is Arudha. A-A-R-U-U retroflex D-H-A Arudha. It means mounted, ascended, bestridden as a horse, risen, raised up, elevated on high, undertaken, reached, brought to, often used in compounds such as Indriya-rudha, meaning brought under the cognizance of the senses, perceived, the mounting, arising, leaping upon, covering, arudha. The practice, the inner motion of meditation is presented here as an enthusiastic, life-embracing activity like jumping on a horse. Let's ride. The sutra is saying, if you want to practice yoga, mount up, jump onto your greatest joy, and go. Aswada is eating with relish, also metaphorically tasting, flavor, enjoying. Any sensual pleasure is a gateway into meditation. The practice here is to savor the banquet of the senses, especially music, which is a joy like nothing else in this world. Mount the joy as it arises in you, and ride it into oneness with the soul. Yoga extends the reach of our senses. When we utilize this extended reach, we fine-tune our abilities to metabolize prana, the energy of life. This sutra is inviting us to attend to the feast of the senses, that is everyday life, and to use the skills we practice in yoga to ascend and transcend with the joy. It's beautiful. So let's mount up, feel the rising energy of this next verse as as we chant it. This is the 53rd yukti. Or did I skip one? This is the 52nd yukti. We'll be doing the 53rd next time. And the 75th verse overall. Anagatayam nidrayam pranashte bhaya gochare savastha manasa gamya paradevi prakashate. When sleep has not yet come, and the sweet buzz of exhaustion permeates the body, linger in the of relief as your head touches the pillow. Everything in you is yearning to let go. So let go. Let your body fall into something deeper than sleep. With your mind, enter the soft, luminous glow of the soul. The word of the verse is Swarupa. Wait a second. I think I made a mistake. I missed another verse. I think the 51st. Didn't I? Oh my goodness, I missed another one. Alright, we'll come back to that one next time. I apologize for my inconsistency. Anyway, another excuse to chant some more. This is the actual last one we'll read. We read the 49th, the 50th, now the 51st. This one goes like this. Yatra yatra manastushtir manastatraiva dharayet tatra tatra parananda swarupam sampravartate. This one means wherever, whenever you feel carried away, rejoicing in every breath, there is your meditation hall. Cherish these times of absorption, rocking the baby in the silence of the night, pouring water into a crystal glass, tending the logs in a crackling fire, sharing a meal with a circle of friends. Embrace these pleasures and know, this is my true body. Nowhere is more holy than this. Right here is the sacred pilgrimage. Live in alertness for such a moment, my beloved, as if it were your one meeting with the Creator. The word of the verse is Swarupa. S-V-A-R-U-U-P-A. Swarupa. It means one's own form or shape, your own condition, character, nature, your own peculiar character. It can also mean wise or learned. The practice. This verse begins with Yatra Yatra, wherever, whenever. Wherever your mind finds satisfaction, there is your meditation practice. Then we see the amazing word Swarupa, your own peculiar nature. A reading of this verse would be, wherever your mind wanders, there you can experience the absolute bliss of your peculiar nature. Just like my mind inadvertently wandered into reading the wrong verse. There's a certain ecstatic joy about that too. Getting lost, reconciling. If you talk to people about their secret joy, that thing they love so much that they live for it, there is an infinite range of peculiar activities. Some people love rejuvenating old cars. Some people love fly fishing. Some people love bathing naked in mountain streams. Some people love training dogs. Some people love gardening. Some people love painting mandalas. Some people love golf. Some people love surfing. It doesn't matter what you love. What matters is that you love it and you choose it freely. Swarupa is the shape of your soul. In all these practices, in everything you do in meditation, follow the shape of your own soul. Practice in a way that feels to you like your favorite hobby or indulgence. That natural way you would putter in the garden if you love gardening, wander around a city if you are a traveler, curry the horse if you are a horse person, play your instrument if you are a musician, and you are just alone, exploring. Parananda Swarupa is the transcendental joy of your unique character. This suggests that you'll get to the universal through the personal. No matter how wounded, wacky, or wonderful you think you are, celebrate your individuality. This makes me very happy to hear. Thank you very much for listening. I'm so grateful that I got a chance to listen with you as we read through these sutras. Please forgive me for the inconsistency and my errors. I make many of them. If that brought out any reflections you want to share, please feel free to do so. But that concludes our reading. My attention now returns back on the comment section. And I welcome everyone that joined while we were reading. And I thank those who sent a gift whilst we read too, such as dear Crystal Pancake. Thank you for your rose. Bhurmbhuvasva Tatsaviturvarenyam Bhargo Devasya Dhimahi Dhiyo Yona Prachodayat. Dear Viola, thank you for the heart me you sent. Kali Mahakali Kalike Parameshwari Sarvanandakare Devi Narayani Namostute. Dear John Simon, thank you for your heart me. Narayanaya Vidmahe Vasudevaya Dhimahi Tanno Vishnu Prachodayat. And thank you, Kevin, for your heart me unpopular vote. Namah Karlim Ambita Me Shrim Nadita Me Harim Devita Me I'm Saraswatyai Swaha. Alright, back to the comment section. Thank you for sharing the live, dear G and Crystal Pancake. And thank you for the follow, dear Tsira. I'm sorry to hear that, dear Musako. Dear Eloise, you're wondering what branch of Buddhism does this derive from? You are correct in being sensitive to the Eastern philosophical influence in this live stream. Buddhism does have a big part in my heart. However, this live stream is not any particular demographic when it comes to the space it holds for religious and spiritual traditions worldwide. There are many different forms of spiritual traditions, all of them equally valid in their own unique ways. This text is not a Buddhist text. This text is more Hindu than Buddhist, but the overlap in Hinduism and Buddhism is huge. They share more similarities than they have differences, but there are very important differences to understand too. Specifically, this is a yogic text, and there are forms of Buddhist yoga. As I said, there's lots of overlap, and even more particular, this is a tantric text, which is a branch of yoga that involving all aspects of life rather than trying to separate yourself from your body or your mind and its attachments and desires. It's a very progressive branch, even though it's beyond ancient, prehistoric likely, given that it arises from the indigenous religions of India, even before the Vedas. This text specifically is not quite that old, but the school is. Hello, dear Uru. Hello, dear Xime. I know, you've been here. Anyway, hello again. Dear Oski, you share, you love my life so much. Can I get like a deep humming in the background? Like some Om going on? That sounds like a good idea. I think we could do that. I'll find one for you next time. Dear Quetzals Pretzels, you ask, have I been initiated into a Kriya Yoga lineage? No, I have not undergone the process of initiation into any lineage. However, I have deep respect for the lineage of Kriya Yoga because through Paramahansa Yogananda and his book, Autobiography of a Yogi, I was first informed of the greater school of philosophy that yoga is beyond just a system of stretches that we commonly understand in the West. You're very welcome. Thank you for the question, dear Eloise. Hello, dear Gorn. So how are you all doing today? I'm wondering if you want to share. No one is expected to. But I hope that there's space for you to feel free to share whatever it is you're going through. Infinite Sunrise, you're wondering if we can do a quick metta meditation. I like that. It's a good idea. Yes, a meditation on loving kindness, on compassion. We can spend a moment feeling how our day-to-day has been influenced by compassion. What do you have right now that you didn't have or that you wouldn't have had without some compassion, some loving kindness? And what can you give yourself now or later today through some loving kindness? Think about how much better the world would be if we all practiced just even a little bit more of compassion or loving kindness. Dear Callum, you had asked, why do so many people only try to exist and not to live? That's a brilliant question. One that requires very careful deconstruction of our worldviews in order to open up into the definitionless life that we exist as a part of. We often are not taught how truly to live. Our school systems, at the most, only prepare us to exist. Even then, some of the most crucial elements of existing in our society, they don't teach us. The truth is, many of us really don't know the difference between simply trying to exist, trying to stay alive, and truly living. And one of the most ironic differences is that when you have something that's worth dying for, then you can truly live. Because when you are so concerned with staying alive, your fear of death keeps you from actually engaging with life to the fullest of your abilities. That is to say, be a little bit of a daredevil in life. It's good to have some cautiousness. It's good to be thinking about the future and concerned with some dangers that exist in theory. But if you let that be your entire existence, you never truly live. So feel free to be a little vulnerable. Allow yourself to go outside of your comfort zone. Try something that's scary. You don't need to always be thinking about the future. Invest in the present moment. You're very welcome, dear Quetzals. Yes, you've got a great memory. Oh, Yogananda. What a mystical being. Dear internal silence, you ask, is there a particular darshana or sampradaya I associate with, at least in terms of philosophy? No. Because I love discovering the truth of all perspectives. If I must, however, if you even consider it one, I love yoga. Proper philosophical yoga, not just a system of physical exercises. Because that kind of yoga is inclusive to every other kind of spiritual practice. As many yogis will tell you, yoga is the foundation of all sampradaya, of all darshana. Not merely one of the astika darshana, but the very basis of spirituality itself. If you go back to its core, the essence of all religions is something like yoga. Something non-denominational, something free of dogma, something inclusive to variation. And my heart is closest with that. What about you? Hello, dear Alberto. You're interested in my hair that comes out of the top of my head. But there are other things coming out of this head, like my words, which I hope you pay more attention to. Let's redirect the focus of this live stream from the appearance of the person speaking to the words that we are speaking to each other. Do you take good of your hair? Do you take good care of your hair, I mean? Clearly I need to take a little more time paying attention to my words since I just missed one. Dear Tara, you share your daughter thinks my voice sounds sad and says if she can hug me, she would spread joy to me. Aw, that's such a beautiful sentiment. Thank you, Tara's daughter. sometimes when we are sad, our voice can drop to a slow and low register like this. People who are sad, especially under the influence of this very melancholic music, may speak like this. But in my heart, I shall affirm you that I am not sad at this moment. There are many sad things going on in the world at any time. And if we are sensitive, we can feel that no matter where we are. But in this moment, I am happy, I am relaxed and comfortable. And when you feel like that, you may also speak similarly. Isn't that interesting? How the sounds of someone who is very relaxed might sound similar to someone who is sad. What's the connection between sadness and relaxation? That's a very fascinating topic to explore. Dear Dawn, you feel close to the unknown. I love that. From the unknown, anything is possible. Many of us have such a deep fear of the unknown, of uncertainty. But hidden within the unknown, hidden within uncertainty, is infinite possibility. And if you really think about it, there's more ways that something could go right than it could go wrong. And why is that true? I say, because things can only go wrong in a proportional amount of ways to the number of limitations that something has. No matter how limited something is, it only has a finite amount of limitations. Even if it's 100, 1,000, 1,000,000, it's still not infinite. But the number of ways that something can go right is proportional to the amount of possibilities that something has. And the number of possibilities that something has is unknowably infinite. Part of possibility means infinite. There is a selection of who knows how many ways that something can expand, can grow, can evolve, can express yet another aspect of our source. Therefore, if we do spend more of our attention on the positive than the negative, we are actually balancing the two. Because 50-50 positive to negativity is actually disproportional in terms of negativity. You might say, how is that possible? 50-50 is a perfect balance. Well, if there was as much positivity to pay attention to as there is negativity, then it would be a perfect balance because the ratios are 1-to-1. But as we just described, there are infinitely more ways that something could go right than wrong. So, more positivity is more in harmony with the truth of existence in the unknown, in the uncertain. It's always realistic to be more positive. People always say, I'm not a pessimist, I'm a realist. But the real realists know how to be optimists. Thank you, dear Dob Darker, for your heartbeat and your popular vote. Hanumate Namaha. Thank you, dear Oren, for your heartbeat. Namo Bhagavate Rudraya. Thank you, dear Tara, for your rose. Hanumate Rudratmakaya Hum Bhat Swaha. Dear Oski, you asked to explore the relationship of sorrow to relaxation, then please. I would love to. Thank you for asking. And thank you, Rahina, for your heartbeat and your 33 popular votes. And a greeting heart. Well, greetings to you in your heart. Mithray Namaha. And Big Stevie C, thank you for your quintet of tiny dinos. Yippee! As well as a heartbeat. What is the relationship between sorrow and relaxation? To me, there's a common ground of a sense of letting go. It's just that relaxation is a form of letting go that you want to do. But sorrow is a form of letting go that you need to do. And sometimes what we need to let go of is not always what we want to let go of. And so the dissonance between our needs and our wants in that moment creates the suffering. But if we can bring into harmony our want with the need, even sorrow can be a form of relaxation. This a very few, very rare selection of people get to discover the beauty of. But I think you all intuitively know, anytime you have a really good cry, you know when you're absolutely just bawling, you're letting stuff go. And at the end of a really good cry, definitely not the beginning, closer to the end, you feel deeply relaxed. You might not even realize it until I point you to reflect on that. You might have fallen asleep. You might have entered a meditative state. You might have then felt, it's time to go and take a bath or to go for a walk. After your really deep cry, there was a part of you that felt lighter. And that's the relationship between sorrow and relaxation. It was, at first, the opposite of relaxing. But as our crying, for example, or any other expression of sorrow, becomes more and more of a want, I want to cry right now. I want to let go of this energy, this emotion. It does become relaxing by the end. Doesn't it? Thank you, Prudence. Hello, dear Chloe. Do I know the mantra? Om Jaya Jagadish Hare. You know, I don't think I do, but I can see where it comes from. Jaya means victory. Jagadish is the Hindi of Jagadisha, meaning the universal Lord, Isha meaning Lord, Jagad meaning universal, and Hare is the vocative form of Hari, a form of the divine. So we're celebrating Hari as, or Hara, I believe. I think both might have an equivalent vocative form. No. Scratch that. The vocative form of Hara is just Hara. But Hari becomes Hare. Hari is another name of Vishnu, of Krishna, the all-pervading one. So we're saying victory to the Lord of the universe. Vishnu, Hari, Krishna. You needed to hear what we were talking about earlier, dear Quetzals. Your brain loves to think all the ways something can go wrong. And that's going to be true for every brain. Because we've evolved that way. But we can take a stand in the direction of a conscious evolution, not just unconscious through natural laws, but through our own transcendental determination to go beyond our nature, or to be even more accurate, to bring out the most essential and forgotten parts of our innermost nature. Dear Oski, you share, someone could argue, that we exist at such small odds, therefore negativity is more prevalent. It is a miracle we exist, to be fair. Well, you'll have to explain the logic behind that, and we can absolutely explore that. Yes, welcome, dear Rahina. Chloe, you share, there's a song called For a Pessimist, I'm Pretty Optimistic. That's funny. I haven't heard that. Hello, dear Raven. Namaskaram, dear Connor. Dear Kevin, you ask, can intimacy with a partner be a spiritual practice? When done with consent and the explicit intention to use that to raise your mind and consciousness. Absolutely. In practice, it requires a lot of unpacking of trauma to get to such a level, as well as deep levels of communication, to set boundaries, to know how to respect boundaries in the middle of such a energetic and emotional act. For example. But yes, there are many forms of sexuality that are deeply spiritual. In fact, in principle, all forms of sexuality can be spiritual. However, any kind of sexuality which is about taking power over another person, coming from a sense of insecurity, when there isn't consent, when boundaries are being broken, when it's purely for the sake of extracting pleasure, because we feel like we're missing something and we're trying to supplement that, then you're not going to have a spiritual experience in the same way that you would if there was consent and understanding and a purpose being invoked beyond just two bodies extracting chemicals for the sake of an ecstatic union of souls. Hari Om, dear Om Tat Sat. Dear Jack, you asked, did I dye my hair? No. I've never dyed my hair, but I have a blue light on in my room, and you can see the shadow pass as I move my hand over it. Looks like that though, doesn't it? A good way to explore different hair colors without actually changing your hair color. Just get a multicolored light and change the color of the light. Dear Jack, you're wondering what's my take on the law of assumption. Can you tell me what the law of assumption is? And then we can explore it together. Namaste, dear Ginger Bear. You love unpacked drama. I said unpacked trauma with a T. Trauma. But yes, unpacked drama. That's also fun. And sometimes you have to unpack drama in order to unpack trauma. Oh, I'm happy to share that with you, dear Kevin. Yeah. We can continue exploring any of these topics too. Thank you, dear Oren, for the popular vote that you sent as well. Ravai Namaha. Indirectly, it was the topic of the video I made today about Brahmacharya, which is a word that often, in my opinion, gets mistranslated to celibacy or other related words. We live in an age today with a lot of collective sexual trauma. Many of us have experienced trauma or unintentionally was involved in a traumatic experience of someone else's trauma because we haven't been taught how to truly understand each other's bodies, boundaries, needs, and wants. We also live in an age, especially in the West, where we are falling out of respect for many of the religions that are traditional to us. This is especially due to a commonly held unhealthy relationship between religion and sexuality, where sexuality is demonized through unnecessary misunderstandings of ancient scripture. So it's crucial that in today's age, for those who are meant to have some form of spiritual connection, that we reconcile the relationship between spirituality and sexuality, carefully navigating dogma. Thank you, dear Oren. I love you so much. For that you're awesome. For the tiny yippee and the friendship necklace. Sum Suryaya Namah. Thank you, dear Jimmy. or Jimpai for the heartbeat that you send. Xime, you had asked such a beautiful question. How can we forgive ourselves? I think we all have something to forgive ourselves for. Or to put it in other words, we all have something that if we forgave ourselves for it, we would free up a lot of space and energy for other things. The question is, do you feel like you deserve forgiveness? Well, allow me to affirm that the answer is yes, even without knowing whatever it is. And that's because there is an understanding of forgiveness which is universal, regardless of the act. And that's because forgiveness, true unconditional forgiveness, is not dependent on something being less than a certain severity of action. And that's because forgiveness isn't about validating something, or it's not about giving justice to something which shouldn't be validated. Or let me rephrase that one more time. It's not about validating an injustice. It is not about propagating any pattern of behavior that's unhealthy. It's not about forgetting. People say forgive and forget. Don't forget. Never forget. Forgetting history is how history repeats itself. But forgiveness and remembrance need to have a healthier relationship. That when you remember something, you're not filled with pain when you remember it. It's about changing your relationship to the memory so that your relationship with your memory is now healthy. And beating yourself up every time you remember this thing is only going to continue to damage you and your nervous system. And a damaged nervous system only creates more damage to other people's nervous system. If you want to heal others, you have to heal yourself. Healing yourself means stop poisoning yourself, because you will heal naturally as soon as you stop poisoning yourself. The poison is your own self-doubt that you can change to be a better person. The poison is your own limiting belief that this was an experience that never should have happened. It happened. It's okay that it happened. It's okay that someone got hurt. What are you going to do differently? That's all the universe is curious about. The universe will never judge a person's past, because the universe only exists today. So today, how are you going to be different? How are you going to bring out something which was always meant to be brought out? How are you going to use your experiences to refine yourself? That's forgiveness. Forgiveness isn't about saying, I'm sorry, or I forgive you. It's about saying, how can I take accountability when it comes to yourself? How can I energetically move on from this so I'm no longer held back by this weight? That is something for you to explore for yourself. Thank you, dear Jack, for explaining the law of assumption. It's that your dominant assumptions, based on the subconscious and conscious, reflect and select your reality. I love that. What's my take on it? Well, just the way you described it is perfect. We have a world that is absolutely reflective of what's going on inside us. The timeline that you're on is decided by the actions that you take. And your actions are formed by your environment. What you choose to see in your environment affects how you react to it, therefore determining your path in life. The very assumption, therefore, creates your reality. I like to simplify it theistically in terms of a God whose only word is yes. Imagine, if you don't like God, just think universe or divine universal spirit. And when you pray, the only thing that the other party in prayer can say is yes to whatever you say. So you say in your prayers, I'm a terrible person. I'm never going to amount to anything. The divine simply says yes. If you say, I'm a loser, I'm a loner, nobody ever is going to want to be my friend, the divine says yes. Because that's what the divine is. The source of affirmation. Unconditional affirmation unto you. However you choose to be, the divine says yes. So you can use that to your advantage, but you must be very careful. Because you could say, I want to be a better person. And the divine says, yes. In the sense of, yes, you do want to be a better person. You have to move it into the present moment. Not just, I want to be a better person. I am becoming a better person. Then the divine says, yes. In the sense of, yes, you are becoming a better person. That assumption gets empowered by the source within you. Thank you, dear void, for the that you sent. Thank you, Inevitable, for your trio of roses too. Khagaya Namaha. It's also true, dear Hex. Many scriptures have also been mistranslated over time, and some have been edited completely. Knowing how to correctly understand or translate scripture is a very fine art that requires deep and personal connection to it, and for the translator themselves to be very connected to the source of the revelation. Only then can they authentically and accurately speak on behalf of it. This means that someone whom, let's say, has not completely forgiven themselves, for example, shan't be able to speak on scripture that talks about forgiveness. Because if they don't know how to forgive themselves, how could they tell others how to forgive themselves too? Therefore, it is imperative that we do get translations and understanding of scripture from people that truly embody those principles. Thank you, dear Nita, for the heart me you sent. Namah. And dear dream traveler, thank you for your heart meme. Hiranyagarbhaya Namah. I did see your most recent comment, dear Jack. I always go through every comment in these live streams as best as I can, one by one. You can always check. Have I missed your comment or not? It's just a matter of checking at what point in the comment section am I addressing? Am I still addressing something sent before your comment? Well then, I have yet to catch up to your comment. If I'm talking about something that came after your comment, then I did miss it, or maybe it didn't come through. Just so you know. There is a question of the day, dear Anne. Today my question of the day is, what simple practices do you feel like you can dissolve yourself in? These can be anything. Little things in your day, or big moments in your life, that when you consciously engage in, you just feel free to dissolve. Curious about that. Hello, dear Rebecca. Hello, dear Kaylee. Boyd. Thank you, dear Jack. Hello, Dream Traveler. Thank you for the follow, dear Brad. Remember that there's no wrong answer to this question. You're always free to answer in any way that makes sense to you, if you want to. Rebecca, you share waiting. I love that. And I resonate with that too. The sense of waiting, the practice of patience, you can almost enjoy it if you know how. Actually, you can enjoy it. But if you can't, you can almost begin to perceive how it could be. If you recognize that in that act of waiting, you are refining some aspect of yourself. Dear Anne, you share sleep. I like that. Sleep is a very good practice. I think you all should do it. Dear Olski, you share watching the wind move the trees and reading a book. I like that too. Observation, experiencing. Dear Dream Traveler, you share drinking coffee in the morning sun on the balcony. I'm glad that you find that to be dissolving for you. I didn't miss anything, dear Jack. Oh, good. I can be a little delayed in attending to every comment, and I thank you for your patience. Dear Billy, you share looking up at the sky, day or night, moon, stars, clouds, sunrise, sunset. How delightful. We have a very slow dance happening way above our heads, peering up into that cosmic blaze, just Indeed, so dissolving. Well, I'll give a few more minutes to some answers if they're coming. I'm very happy with the ones we've shared so far, so thank you. I will add that I feel like I can dissolve in gardening sometimes, especially as I'm taking care of tulasi, a plant revered for being a form of the divine. I've set up a little greenhouse in my garage, and just being there, not necessarily doing any gardening per se, but even just being in the presence of plants, looking at them, thinking about how can I nurture this part of nature? How can I be a better parent? And dissolve myself to a higher purpose. I guess that answers your question, Billy. What's my answer? The greenery of plants is so beautiful. I feel the same way, dear Dawn. And Marcy, you share healing in greener pastures without regards to the past. I love that. I get the sense of healing not needing to be connected to any past event, but something that propels you from this moment into the future. Something we all do regardless of how we got here. A natural thing that this body and mind does when present. I would love to show you all my plants, dear Olski. I have done some updates in the Telegram group chat. I've sent some videos there. If I could, I'd take you all there right now, but right now my phone is tethered to my live streaming setup. I wouldn't have a microphone either. I can make a video on them too sometime. Dawn, you share. You see plants as the foundation of spiritual reality. I love that. There's some living symbolism there in the growth from soil, stretching up into the sky, just like our bodies are meant to, just in more metaphorical ways. And of course, how would we even have this human experience without plants? It's incredible when you think of how far we've come to conceptually separate humans from nature. That when you think of nature, you probably think of almost everything except for humans. But we are just as much as a part of nature as any species. And without plants, especially, all other species would certainly collapse, because our ecosystem is so interdependent on each other. Zime, a simple practice that you feel is drawing. I love that. And as always, dear Xime, you're welcome to share your drawings for the show and tells that we do. Oski, you share. They're just beautiful to view in the vibrancy of their aliveness. Yeah, I feel the same way. Dear Luca, you ask, what do I think about death? Well, it's going to happen one day, but it hasn't happened yet. And that's all that matters. I don't know how long I have left. Therefore, I shouldn't take this moment for granted. and you're very important. You share, you try to heal and grow spiritually, and you feel like between chapters of your life, and storm is hard. I know what you mean. Our spirit is the source of healing. It is the conscious substance that glues everything together and upholds it in its righteous place. Without spirit, all things decay. That feeling of transitioning chapters can be a depressing one, especially if those chapters come with attachments, things that we naturally long for, that we have to say goodbye to. And we all go through that. Depending on how you view the narrative of your life, you could look at any moment as a transition between chapters. You could also feel yourself just in between a paragraph and another paragraph. Or a word and another word. Or a sentence and another sentence. Depending on how big or small you make yourself. This feeling of a storm too invokes a sense of great change. One that Mother Nature grants to us regardless of if we feel that we're ready for it or not. And I hope you know that you're not alone in that. Many of us feel very much weathered by life at this time, trying to make space for brighter days. Miley Play, you share the practice of snowboarding alone, or gardening, or laying near clean moving water. These are things you feel that you can dissolve into. I love that. Dear Luca, you asked, do I believe in God? I believe in you. And I believe that many different cultures have a different perception on what it means to be here together. But we've all come from Mother Earth. Mother Earth has come with all the other planets and the star in our solar system from some nebula in a galaxy among many others in a universe from some mysterious cause. Though we are so small, we can wonder where, how, why, or perhaps even who it all comes from. And I love the many different ways in which us humans explore that question together. I love all of it. All I can really say for certain is that I'm grateful to be here. And whatever has caused you and me to come here together in this moment, I am grateful for that too. And I look forward to continuing to unravel this infinite mystery with you all. What about you? Dear Raven, you share there is such a warmth in your heart for all that I am. You are picking up on how I feel about you too. Thank you. Winds of change. They're smoky red. Another name for a storm. Or perhaps flatulence. You like Sanskrit? Dear Millie Play. Me too. Here's a Sanskrit word for you. Kshamasva. It means forgive. You can use it as a mantra, especially when you add the word me after, which means me. Kshamasva me. Forgive me. If you are ever feeling like you've made a mistake, Kshamasva me. Kshamasva me. Kshamasva me. Or if you want someone to forgive themselves, instead of me, you say te. Kshamasva te. Forgive yourself. Kshamasva te. You can use that as a mantra for someone who's going through a hard time, giving your love in their direction. Kshamasva te. Kshamasva te. Kshamasva te. Dear Suzanne, you share, you disappear playing Scrabble on your phone. I love that. I love Scrabble. What was your highest scoring Scrabble play, dear Suzanne? I'm curious. And Billy, you share. So if there are aliens on other planets or in different solar systems, we are still connected to them, even though they're not from Mother Earth. It's true. We may be from Mother Earth. They may be from Mother... or however they pronounce their planet. I don't know, I'm not fluent in any other alien language. We still all come from some other source that we share. And that's the beauty of the divine. The divine may mean many things to many people, but at the very least, what it means to all of us is that which we all have come from. Not just humans, not just animals, not just life, not just our planet, not just our solar system, not just our galaxy, but everything in the universe. Like the reverse of a family tree, it all comes back to some singular essence, which in combination with itself produced the various things in existence. That singular cause, whatever it is, unites us. Call it God, call it love, call it light, call it knowingness, call it being, call it spirit. Whatever you want to call it, it has called all of us into being from its nameless nature. That I am grateful to share with you. Suzanne, your highest scoring Scrabble play is Dimpled for 84 points. I love that you knew that. Thank you. Dimpled. And we're all like dimples in the cosmic network of vibration. Daily inspo, you find stretching to be a practice that you can dissolve yourself in. I love that. Please do not mock our celestial overloads. Thank you for the reminder, dear Olsky. So I was just practicing my diversity. G to infinity, you ask, if all planets are part of the one divine, then truly, are they alien? I like that question. Yeah. If the feeling we have to our home is ultimately no different than the feeling others have to their home, are we right to look in them for such differences when something that unites us so closely, like the concept of home, is there, regardless of where? Hello, dear Saturnus. Your answer to the question of the day is the sauna. You dissolve literally and figuratively. That reminds me, I need to have a good sauna session. Hello, dear Cookie Crumble. How are you? And thank you everyone for exploring this question of the day with me together. I am always so grateful that we have a chance to explore such subjective questions. I love the many ways in which we all find ourselves dissolving. In gardening, in stretching, in waiting, in saunas, and in many other ways. To dissolve is to fit another piece of ourself in the solution of the puzzle of the whole. I have not used that app, dear Lazarus, although I have understood that this is an app that people use to find connection, particularly people who are male and are longing for an intimate association with another male. Have you used it? Or do you know anybody that's homosexual? Are you comfortable with your sexuality? Are you happy? It's an app called Grindr, dear Dawn. I'm not interested, dear Lazarus, but I appreciate if you find anything within me that's attractive. At the most, may I simply be a friend that is able to reflect some aspects that you can continue to look for in others too. As the intention of these live streams is not for the purpose of developing such romantic or sexual connections with each other. I am only here as, hopefully, a platonic guide for us all to continue to explore this universe together as fellow guides, as fellow students of life. And at that level, we can connect so much deeper. Our bodies are only on the surface of life. There is so much more underneath. Even if we don't connect at the level of the surface, we can form connections much deeper. And thank you, dear Cookie Crumble, for your heartmeat and rose. Turyambakam yajamahe sugandhim pushte vardhanam urvarukam iva bandhanan mrityor mukshiya mamritat. Greetings, dear Duvasa. Hello, dear user 501. You have a great memory that I used to make videos on physics. My most viral videos certainly were related to math and physics. But the real OGs know that my first videos were memes. And then my second videos were spiritual in nature. And then I actually diverted from my spiritual videos to making viral math and physics videos. And I've only returned back to spiritual videos. Maybe one day I'll return back to the original Yamsox videos, which were memes. But until then, I'm still finding my way home. Dear Jack, you ask, where did the inspiration behind my username come from? There is no grand story unless you want to make one up. I really just wanted the username Yam, but it was taken. So I thought of adding another 3 letters that would just have a nice ring to it. You know, Yam talk, Yam lol, Yam pop, Yam bim. I was just going through different nice sounding 3-letter syllables. I eventually settled on Yamsox for absolutely no other reason other than I thought it sounded good. And Yam is part of my given name, Liam. Lyam, it's spelled. I got the nickname Yam because it's just a contraction of my name. And Yamsox just rolled off the tongue. Hello, dear Mirna. Hello, dear Glass Ghost. Spirituality is every day. I love that, Duvasa. Indeed. Every moment can be spiritual. Hello, dear George. Mr. Mellow would be a good handle for me. Oh, thank you, Glass Ghost. Welcome, dear Clint. You all missed out on the Yam Pop and Yam Bim universes. Coming to a universe near you. That's right. You've got a great memory, dear Sean Taylor. Yes, the very first use of Yam as a nickname came from my dentist that read on my name tag Yam because the sticker of a frog was too close to the letter L. Now, what does it mean? Well, the word Liam comes from William. It's the second half of William. William makes many different nicknames like Will, like Willie, but also Liam. That comes from my grandfather and also my father's middle name. So it connects me to my father's side. But my mother had a lot of L's and Y's in her family. So changing the spelling from L-I to L-Y is a way of connecting the name to my mother's side of the family. But the word William itself comes from Wilhelm, or Wilhelm, in German, which is a compound of 2 words, will, which is where we get the English word will, since English is a Germanic language. Helm eventually gets pronounced as the Liam part, but it itself is the root of words like helmet or manning the helm. It's a root that means to protect. So Wilhelm means someone who has the will to protect. They're a protector. And so I inherited the last part, which means to protect. So you could say that my name comes from a word meaning to protect, a protector. Did my parents have the etymology in mind while they're naming me? No. It's funny, most white people are just named after other white people. Not after what the word itself means. You know, any other ethnicity or language, you ask, oh, what does your name mean? Generally, you can go into such monologues of, oh, well, this word means this, it has this connotation, it was found in this story with this semantics. But no, if you want to just keep it simple, I was just named after family members. Thank you, dear Rock Vision, for your 26 roses. Coincidentally, as a nickname, Yam does have meanings in Sanskrit. For example, it's the mantra of the heart. And I have a lot of memories relating to my heart, as many people do. But especially since I was really young, like 3 years old, I remember absolutely being terrified that my heart was going to stop. Later in life, it developed into a kind of anxiety. I was always thinking about my heartbeat and if it was too high or too low, if it skipped a beat or not. I went to the doctor, did a bunch of tests, it was always healthy. And one day I went to a Swami, a Hindu monk, who told me to meditate on the heart, which eventually led me to learn the mantra for the heart, which happened to be Yam. Although it's not pronounced like that, despite it being spelled Y-A-M. It's pronounced more like Yam. The reason the heart chakra has that mantra is because the first 5 major chakras are associated with elements. And thank you, dear Rock Vision, for your galaxy. That's so beautiful. I might as well do all the heart chakra mantras for you, the major and the minor. Yam Kang Kang Gang Gang Nang Jang Chang Jang Jiang Yang Dang Tang. Yes, each of the 5 major chakras have an associated element, from earth to water to fire to air to space. The heart's element is air, and there are 5 distinct regions in our mouth where sounds can be produced. The region corresponding to air is the palate, and the palatal semivowel is ya, thus producing the air-centric heart chakra mantra, Lam. So if you really wanted to have another meaning of my name, it's the seed of the element of air, which was definitely not the intention of my parents, but maybe the universe's, who knows. Air, of course, is connected to our breath, the life force. Now, let me back to the comment section. Now awaiting the Ayurvedic herbal yam pop. Crisp, cool, refreshing. That's funny. I think I actually have created an AI generated image once of a yam pop, which is funny. It was aeons ago, before the universe was even a thought. Then, that's when Yamsox was born. Wow, this is quite the lore. Long ago, before time and space, there was the Yam of Socks. My goodness. Yams are delicious too. Thank you, Sophia. You have a beautiful name too, meaning wisdom. Thank you, Slice. What's the care for the hair, asks Johnny Doe. Well, in general, I don't really have any specific practice, and I hope the point of these live streams is not to focus too much on me and my body. As long as you pay attention to your hair, that's enough. Don't overdo it, don't underdo it. Moderation. Find a simple practice that works for you. Dear Billy, you sure you took the meaning of your kid's name in consideration when you chose them? Mateo and Nathaniel both mean gift from God. I love that. And thank you for breaking the norm. I very much appreciate that. And thank you, Royal Highness Zenny, for your 16 roses. Adityaya Namaha. Now, what's my sign again, asks Rock Vision. Wow, I actually don't have one. Well, not the sun sign at least, which is I'm sure what you're asking for. We have many signs, depending on not just where the sun was at the time of our birth, but other planets, and the moon, and the horizon, among many other celestial phenomena. The big three, of course, are the sun sign, which is where the sun is, the moon sign, where the moon is, and the rising sign, where the horizon is. Not everyone actually has the same number of signs, because even though there's always going to be the sun in the sky, even though there's always going to be the moon in the sky, at least in terms of human time spans. Long ago there was no sun. Long after from now there will be no moon. The sun was in the sky, but yet it didn't imprint on me. And it might not have imprinted on you too if you check your Vedic astrology properly. There are specific times where the influence of a celestial body is nulled from some other celestial phenomenon. For example, during the month of Adhika, which is a lunar month, the sun sign is said not to imprint upon the being. That's a leap month. That doesn't always happen in the cycle of lunar months. Just like we have a leap day that doesn't always happen in the cycle of days. Every 4 years we add a leap day. Every something like every few years we add a lunar leap month. And during the lunar leap month, there's no associated sun sign. So technically speaking, I have no sun sign. Now, if you put my birth date and time and place into a calendar, you will get a sun sign. It's Libra, if you go by Western astrology that doesn't take into account the precession of the ecliptic. In Vedic astrology, it's the equivalent of a Virgo. But actually, these everyday accessible calculators aren't actually advanced enough to point out the times where a certain celestial body doesn't imprint under very rare astrological circumstances. If you do find such a calculator, then you'll find that someone born at 8:08 in the morning on the 1st of October 2001 in Calgary, Alberta, which is mine, doesn't actually have a sun sign. So, the moon takes the place of the sun sign when the sun is unavailable to imprint. So whatever feature the sun sign is meant to imprint for, the moon takes the place of that. So I have 2 moon signs, which I believe is Pisces, but no sun sign. Oski, you just looked it up. Yours is during an eclipse. Something about the sun and the Rahu Ketu axis, yes. Now that sounds very important. So did I find an accurate calculator? I actually don't know of any accurate calculator. I actually asked ChatGPT to do it manually. It acted as an astrologer for me. But if you find an astrologer, large language model, or living human being, I'm sure they can go more precise than any automatic calendar. Thank you, dear Johnny Doe, for your septet of roses and a bow knot. Savitri Namaha. Did I misread your comment, dear Johnny Doe? About my hair? Shampoo, conditioner. I've never really found that much of a difference depending on which shampoo or conditioner I use. If you do, then that's something to pay attention to. If I notice that my hair is very dry, because my hair naturally tends to lose a lot of oils, then I'll supplement it with neem oil or sandalwood oil, which are both very good for the scalp. You liked when the bow knot showed up on my head, dear Marcy. Mini Yam. Soy bonita. At the very least, without the existence of any calendar system that I know that calculates whether or not a given celestial body will imprint or not, you can use a calculator that tells you if anything particular was going on at that time. For example, there's a very powerful app which I'm trying to remember the name of. Drikpanchag. Drikpanchag, I believe. No, AK. Panchak. Drikpanchag, I think. That will tell you that the time of my birth was during Adhika, the lunar leap month. Dear Mirna, you ask, have I discovered anything new these days? Have I discovered anything new? Of course. Every day is new. I learn something new every day. Yeah, what about you, dear Mirna? Hello, dear Mirmander. I am well, thank you. How are you? And Fish. I'm very grateful to know that Fish is doing well. Is Fish recovering from his surgery? Hello, dear Sean. Yo. Oski, you ask, could this lunar alignment indicate something about me? Astrology can only ever indicate what a person is going to experience in their life, but not anything about them. And what I mean by that is that astrology tells you about your prarabdha karma. That's the actions that you are going to experience from the world. But what you do in reaction to that cannot be predicted by astrology. That would infringe upon your free will if that were the case. That's called your kriyamana karma, and absolutely nobody can predict your kriyamana karma. No great seer, enchantress, no astrologer can predict that. No combination of divination or readings will tell you what you are going to do. In fact, not even God knows. We like to use the epithet of God as the all-knowing one, omniscient. And under a very precise definition of omniscience, it is true that the source knows all future happenings. But there is an exception. There's one thing that God doesn't know. And that's what you're about to do next. And the context that makes sense in is the one in which you are a part of God. So as a part of God, the rest of God doesn't know what the part of God that you are is, and what you're going to do next. That's your free will as a God-given gift. So, astrology can't tell you anything about the person if we define the person as what they do. If you define a person by what they experience, then astrology will tell you everything that they'll experience in this lifetime. But it won't tell you what they're going to experience in the next lifetime, because that's influenced by the sanchita karma from endless past lifetimes, and the kriyamana karma, which is your free will that you're going to participate in spontaneously in this lifetime, that nobody knows what you're gonna do. Thank you, Johnny Doe, for the paper crane as well. Arkaya Namaha. Now it's getting late. We should begin wrapping up today's live stream. You and Fish are doing wonderfully, shares Mermanter. He can eat anything, so you're spoiling him. Oh, good. I'm glad you like the background. Yeah. So what does the lunar alignment indicate about my prarabdha karma? It indicates... Oh, hello. The lovely G2 Infinity has entered my room. It indicates that if I choose to, I will have a very deep relationship with the moon. If I connect with the moon, it will be phenomenal. I will have great success in developing an intimate relationship with the moon. And it also means that the sun and I are independent. So it's a very kind of buddy-buddy relationship with the sun. Whereas the moon is always telling me, do this, do that. The sun just says hello. And I say hello back. Because the sun doesn't affect my astrology. This means because what the sun represents the source, the consciousness. It means that I don't feel any authority from my consciousness. Meaning that I won't have any problems rejecting religion. Because that's what the sun represents. The sun represents God as source consciousness. Because that does not imprint on me, it means that I have absolutely no preconception of what God is. I won't have to go through religious trauma in this lifetime. I won't have to go through a deconstruction of dogma, which is a great blessing. I am free to develop my own interpretation on the source, whereas others will have to do extra work deconstructing their preconceptions that come from their family, that comes from the culture that they're born into. And the moon represents the mind. And because the moon imprinted on me twice instead of once, it means that I'll have a very difficult time being free from the desires of my own mind. That I am very stubborn when it comes to letting go of my own mind's ideas, attachments, and wants. So it's a trade-off. Thank you, dear Mermander, for your quartet of ding-dongs. Mermander, you're wondering if I have an altar. I do. And would I be willing to share my room? I can. There's someone in my room right now. I'm not sure if you can see it right now. Maybe another time when the sun's still up for me, I can turn the camera around. My room isn't exactly the brightest right now. Dear Myrna, you're trying to figure out if people, if they have the basic needs, are good or bad. Would they harm? That's a beautiful thought experiment. If people have all their needs covered, would they still harm? If truly all their needs are met, I don't think they would. But there are things that are needs that we don't realize are needs. There are people that have all their so-called basic needs covered. I'm thinking people who are born into aristocratic families. They have food in their fridge and on their plates and in their tummies. They have a roof over their head. They have people that take care of their so-called every needs. They have access to medicine. They have access to everything they need for their bodies to be healthy. And yet, some of the most harmful people are the most wealthiest when it comes to their basic needs being met. And yet, some of the poorest people are the most helpful. They don't have food in their fridge or on their plate or in their tummy, and yet they are kind. So what if there's another need that's even more essential when it comes to kindness, helpfulness, that's independent of basic need? What is it that poor people have that rich people don't? I'm talking about the poor people that are kind and the rich people that are not. You can phrase it in many ways, and you're welcome to explore that. But I'll just give you one idea that I have, and that's emotional support. You can be born into a very wealthy family and yet not get any emotional support. You can have family that's obsessed with money and power and resource, but don't give each other much attention emotionally. And yet you can have families that have almost nothing physically, but are so close emotionally. They're there for each other. They deeply love each other, care for each other at that level. And I think someone who is deeply cared for at an emotional level is generally not going to cause harm to another person. Whereas someone who has a great lack of emotional care and doesn't know how to handle their emotions will often spill out in unhealthy ways and share that lack with others through some form of harm, intentionally or not. And that's because harm is an expression of someone who is unwell mentally. When someone's emotional body, their mental body is feeling well, they know that they're a part of a collective that needs to rely on each other for support. And when they haven't experienced that, then they lack the proper means of connecting with each other in healthy and non-harmful ways. That's just my understanding. Thank you, dear Johnny Doe, for your rose. Bhaskaraya Namaha. Hello, dear Dean. Yeah, G is welcome to come sit next to me, but she's very happily just sitting on the end of my bed. I assume watching the live stream too, because she's on her phone. Yeah, I got that thumbs up after a few seconds of delay. Thank you for the follow, dear Jack. And GFSHG, or GFSHJ, Gufishj. And thank you for sharing the live, dear Grayson. Thank you for the follow, dear Veronica. Disneyland, you resonate with that. You unintentionally did that. Your emotions spilled over, harming someone you love. It's so vulnerable of you to share that. And honest. Thank you. The moment you acknowledge that is the moment that you begin to take accountability. And the moment you can forgive yourself for not being aware of something that you are now. You know what you need to do in order to bring more peace to your loved ones, including yourself. Myrna, your thought experiment doesn't just extend to people living in society, but people in a natural state. I like that. Well, I would say that in a natural state, we do have that emotional support. And let me phrase that in terms of a proof by contradiction. That it's not natural for us to be emotionally distant from each other. It's not natural for us to be closed off from one another at the level of our feelings and thoughts. That has come with time, with our societies growing apart and divisive. The sense of emotional dysregulation is an imposition on our natural state, which is already going to be free from that sense of separation. Naturally, we're already one We were already connected. But that's not to undermine the effort required to continue to propagate emotional intelligence that mothers, especially of all people, do in so-called naturalized times where we lived as one in and as our environment. Mothers play the crucial role of continuing to empathize with her child, her children, hold space for them, love them not just at a physical but an emotional level. And that comes naturally to any mother and is received naturally by any child. It is only today that we find such an intimate connection being misunderstood, misrepresented, or underrepresented in terms of the significance in a peaceful society. You did apologize to her, dear Disneyland, and you're doing your best to heal things with her. I'm so happy that you were able to recognize that and affirm yourself of that. When you can honestly say that you're doing as much as you can, you know that's enough. You can forgive yourself. Nice to have you here again, dear Mirna. Olski, you share it's 5 a.m. and you're eating dark chocolate. Well, I'm going to in the live stream soon. Whether you continue eating dark chocolate or not is not my purview. I will say dark chocolate is very healthy. Chocolate often gets a bad rep, usually milk chocolate, and chocolate that gets a lot of other stuff mixed into it, like preservatives and sugars. But the real ethically sourced dark chocolate is very good for your body. Most people's bodies, I should say. So we've come to the end of today's live stream. My phone will be going off in just 60 seconds from now, and I'll use that as a natural timer to transition into the final segment of today's live stream, which will be meditation. My favorite kind of meditation is chanting. Meditation can mean any practice of getting into a state of pure being. Our being loves to chant and to listen to chanting. And we can play both the role of a chanter and a chantee just by using sacred sounds in a rhythmic way. So we'll do so. Thank you, Le Bob Dreams, for the heart me you sent. Saraswatyai Namaha. There, now my phone's going off. Alarm is now off, so we won't have the looming threat of my alarm going off while we're meditating. Thank you, Johnny Doe, for the united heart. Sadhyo jatam prapadyami sadhyo jataya vai namo namah Bhave bhave nati bhave bhavaswamam bhavodbhavaya nama. Well, you're certainly meant to be here tonight, dear Disneyland. I hope I can honor that, whatever the divine had in mind. But good night. And thank you, dear Dean, for your heart meme. Vamadevaya namo jeshtaya namah shreshtaya namo rudhraya namah kalaya namah kalvikarnaya namo balaya namo balvikarnaya namo balapramathinaya namah sarva bhuta damanaya namo manonmanaya namaha. Hello, the letter B. Good night, dear Terra Star. On to our meditation tonight. At the time of recording, it is the night before the new moon, and on that precipice of looming darkness, we have a great symbolism to invoke darkness. Darkness is immortalized in one form of the divine in India known as Kali, and in her ultimate form she is known as Mahakali. We're going to chant a mantra for her tonight. The mantra goes like this. Kamalir Mahakalikaya Namah. I've added some information on screen. Here's the Devanagari, and then here's the International Alphabet of Sanskrit transliteration. I've added some pronunciation pointers. For example, the O, A, E. These are all long vowels. The M at the end of it's a pure nasalization. No need to even touch your lips together to pronounce the sound. At the end of this bija, the seed for Mahakali, Kamalir, we have this H with the dot under it. It's also found at the end of Namah. It makes a slightly different sound depending on which sound follows it. In general, it's a mini exhale of visarga, like you'll find at the end of Namah. But it can alchemize with the sound in front of it to change in a very strange way. When it comes before a voiced sound like M, it turns into a retroflex R. So instead of Kamali, you'll hear Kamalir. There's that rotization, I think it's called. As a whole, aside from the bijas, the sacred seeds at the beginning, it translates to salutations to the great dark mother of time. The symbolism of time as a mother is very beautiful. Specifically, a dark mother, one that is often not represented in the limelight, but instead hidden in the shadows, not unlike the womb, our first impression of the mother, just as this time we spend in darkness growing. And I find that to be very beautiful and fitting for the night before the new moon. We'll chant it 108 times together, which is traditional, and we'll keep count of which repetition we're on using the help of a rosary. It has 108 beads, so as long as we start right after the so-called Guru bead and we feel our way back to it, then we'll know that we've chanted 108. I'm going to turn down the background music so we can focus all our energy on the sounds. Kamalirmahakalikaaya namah. 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 Kamalir-Mahakalikayai 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 Namah. Kamalyurmahakalikaye 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 Namah. Kamlyarmahakalikaya 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 Namah. Last one, longer. Salutations to the great dark mother of time. Let's spend a few moments of silence in your womb of vastness. Thank you for chanting or meditating along with us. That concludes today's live stream. Certainly felt the presence of one particular form of Kali on that side of the room. Thank you to those who sent a gift whilst we chanted. For example, dear John F., thank you for your heart meme. Krim Kalikaya Namaha. That's the no less powerful but baby sister version of that mantra. Om Krim Kalikaya Namaha. And then we did Om Kabalir Maha Kalikaya Namaha. Thank you, dear Johnny Dome, for another 18 roses you sent. Om Dum Durgaya Namaha. And for your hearts. Thank you, Tan How You, for the heart me you sent to Om Kalaratriyai Namaha. Welcome back, dear Jack. Thank you for finding beauty here, dear Rihanna. It was Kali-licious. I like that. I appreciate everyone's presence here. Thank you to all my lovely moderators for helping keep the peace. Thank you to everyone who holds me accountable to any mistakes, keeps me humble. May I be a better host in terms of inclusivity to you or anyone next time. May this live stream be an offering to the divinity within you. Aseto ma sadgamaya tamaso ma jyotirgamaya mrityor mamritangamaya. Shanti Shanti Shanti. Om. Lead us from the unreal to the real, from darkness to the light, from death to deathlessness. Om. May there be peace in our environment. May there be peace in the forces that act on us. And may there be peace in us. If I had a prayer for tonight based on today's mantra and the current lunar phase, it would be for the feminine to not just reclaim her autonomy, but be enthroned as the rightful ruler of this whole universe, who she art. That's the spirit of Mahakali, anyway. You have a wonderful rest of your night, or your evening, or your afternoon, or your morning, wherever you are in the world. May you have a wonderful rest of your present moment. Namaste.